Welcome back to the GTN Show. We have got a lot in the show today. In particular, a lot of tech.
Yeah, a new Star Wars style TT helmet.
Yeah, an exciting new brand from Trimtex.
A new gravel bike from Envy.
Yeah, and a new entry process for Norseman Triathlon.
Yeah, and let's not forget Lionel Sanders racing the Super League.
Oh, and Gwen Jorgensen back racing.
Let's crack on with the show. Okay, let's start the show like we always do with some of the things we've noticed on the internet over the last week, starting with this one, and it's Jan Frodeno putting a call out to the Norwegians because, well, he needs a wild card to get into the PTO event.
Christian, Gustav, I just come from a swim and it's occurred to me that I'm putting in all this hard work and all this practice in the hope of seeing you guys at the PTO European Open. But it's just struck me that for the first time in like 20 years, I need a wild card because it's become quite a hard thing to get into. Was wondering if you boys could put in a word for me, and also if you could please show up. I'd love to see you guys live. Love to see it.
Yeah, it's actually quite funny because he actually hasn't technically qualified for the PTO Open in Ibiza.
No.
Because he's actually not got any
He's not high enough on the rankings at the moment, which is, yeah, bizarre to think of. But he did get a response from Christian Blumenfeld.
Relax, Jan. I think I know someone who knows someone who knows someone. So I will do a couple of phone calls and get you in. So see you in Ibiza.
Well, I'm fairly sure we're going to see those guys all duking out there, and that's going to be really exciting to watch, isn't it?
Yeah. They mentioned the after party too. I mean, we're going to go there, right? We're not for race.
Yeah, we don't have to race, just enjoy the after party.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where all the awards are given out.
It'd be rude not to, wouldn't it?
Cool. Next thing we've noticed, and we've kind of we spoke about this a little bit last week with the Bahrain Victorious team and potential members joining. Well, it's now been announced.
It has. They've got 3 new faces for the Bahrain Victorious 13, and they are Amelia Rose Watkinson, Hayden Wild, and Kat Matthews. Stacked lineup. I mean, Bahrain Victorious 13's always been a stacked lineup, but it's even more stacked lineup now.
Yeah.
Very interesting to see Hayden Wild on there representing the short course guys. So yeah, he's an exciting addition for sure. Look forward to seeing how he goes. But yeah, it's the team, isn't it? It's an absolutely stacked team.
I think they're really good additions and great talents who are bringing quite a lot of exciting stuff to sport at the moment. Talking of exciting, we had the Super League Arena Games in Montreal this weekend. We'll get on to the specifics of that race very shortly. But you may have spotted this video doing the rounds on social media, and it was Lionel in a sweatbox.
Yeah, he was taking a leaf out of the Paul Felder's book, who obviously is a fighter, and they get down to fight weight by sweating it out in these sweat boxes. So Lionel, obviously you have to weigh in for these arena games on Zwift. So he cut his weight. Apparently he cut 3.5 kg.
I mean, it is like 24 hours before, so he's got time to replenish that. But
well, yeah, maybe. You don't think you can replenish all of it, but still, it's
I've got to say, I'm going to put my hand up and say, when I saw him suggest he's lost 3.5 kilos, I was like, whoa, that race is over for him then. I wasn't sure you could.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd probably be okay on the bike and the run, but I'd imagine the swim would really hurt him. But yeah, as Mark says, we'll get to the results of that race a little bit later.
Yeah, talking of which, I mean, Lionel, again, it's not giving anything away, but he said after the event, got what I came for and then some. If only I could have climbed out of the pool a little bit quicker. So yeah, we'll explain a little bit more about that shortly. I also spotted this one from Fergus Crawley, who actually lives up in Scotland. He's a bodybuilder, come endurance athlete, at least I think he is. We did a lot of weightlifting anyway. And I mean, he's done one up on myself and David Goggins. So David Goggins has his famous 4x4x48. So 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. Fergus has just gone and doubled that. He's done 4 miles every 4 hours for 96 hours or for 4 days.
It sounds better if you say 4 miles, 4 hours for 4 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's impressive. Mark struggled quite a bit with his 4x4 48.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those, like, it doesn't sound like a lot, but actually the sleep deprivation, it really creeps up on you.
It's probably because you kept stopping in the pub, Mark, instead of going to bed in between the runs.
Yeah, that would have made things slightly easier if I didn't move around so much. But yeah, go check out Fergus's video. If you head on over to his Instagram page, you get the link for his video there.
Yeah, well done to him. Maybe a challenge for GTN later on in the year.
No. Okay, now for the Tri news. And the first bit of news is actually around Norseman. So Norseman Triathlon is arguably one of the toughest triathlon events out there. The jury is out. I know
He has
James
to say
might.
that because he's done it.
What is the hardest one then?
Ombraman?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I would give you that. I think it's probably up there. We
Well,
maybe
I haven't
need to
done Norseman
compare.
and he hasn't done Ombraman, so I feel a challenge
leave
coming along.
leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. But anyway, it is arguably one of the toughest events out there. The problem is, it's become incredibly popular over the years. In the previous couple of years, they've had over 5,000 entrants for just 200 spots. So the way in which they do it is through a ballot system. So you are entering into a ballot, and then they pick the names randomly out of a hat. And the problem is, there's many people that have applied every year for years on end and still haven't got a spot. Obviously, I was very lucky to do that. So now they've revised that entry system and have brought in something called the X points.
Yeah, now X points you can get for affiliated events, essentially. It's kind of a series, but there's various extreme triathlons around the world that will get you X points to go into what is essentially a separate lottery, as far as we can tell. So there'll be 100 slots for X points people who have earned X points, and then the 125 slots will go to those, as previously, 5,000 just lottery entrants. So if you do those other triathlons, those extreme triathlons, to get some X points, you have a better chance of getting a Norseman entry slot, if that makes sense.
And
Did I get that right?
I think that was fairly good. I think we've just about got our heads around it. And I believe, and we're kind of just guessing a little bit here, but probably the more events you do, the more ballot entries you get into those 100 spots.
Yeah, there wasn't specifically explained that for every X point you get another ballot entry, but we're assuming that that's how it works, because they've actually said they will retroactively go back through events from 2019 and beyond, and you'll get X points for those ones, so you will get lottery slots for ones that you've done in the past, even if you weren't at the time thinking of qualifying for Norseman, which is pretty cool.
So go sign yourself up to lots of grueling events and you might get a better chance of doing an even more grueling event.
Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant. All right, moving on with that news. USA Triathlon has announced a couple of series. Yeah, the first series that they've announced is the USA Gravel Triathlon Series. Now, this is 9 gravel triathlon events which have come together under this blanket of the Gravel Triathlon Series. You don't need to qualify for the Gravel Triathlon Series. Anyone can enter, and you don't have to qualify for the Gravel Triathlon Championships either, which happen on the 2nd of June. They are anyone can enter them, but they have brought them all together as a series for the 2nd year running, which is a pretty cool way to promote gravel triathlon, and I like it because I really enjoyed the only gravel triathlon I've done. I think I'm going to do another one in the future.
They've also announced that they're bringing together 15 women's focused multi-sport events into, again, a USA Women's Triathlon Series. So yeah, events all over USA.
Yeah, these are women's only events, so to provide a safe place for women to compete and enjoy triathlon without feeling like those age group competitive men are running over the top of them.
Moving on, Ruvi and Challenge Family have come together to organise a charity ride in aid of those affected by the earthquakes in Turkey and Syria. They're going to be donating, or Ruvi will be donating €1 for every athlete that completes the loop, and Challenge will be providing a lump sum, hoping to raise in excess of €35,000. All that money will be donated to the Czech Red Cross, who are helping those affected in Turkey and Syria with medical supplies. So the charity ride is going to be 8.7 kilometre loop through Prague, which is the home of Ruvi. They've actually started this already. It starts on the 22nd of February. It's going to be running for 11 days. So anyone can jump on between now and the finish date and complete the loop and raise money. We'll pop the link for that ride in the description just down below.
Yep, get involved. And our final piece of news this week, not such good news from the Southern Lakes Ultra in New Zealand. This is a 7-day, 6-stage ultra marathon in New Zealand, on the southern island of New Zealand. And well, the weather turned bad really quickly, and one of the rivers that the competitors had to cross became uncrossable. And actually what ended up happening was they had to stop the race, and 110 participants had to be evacuated to safety. 7 of them actually ended up in hospital, including one official. They are all fine. Was various degrees of hypothermia, etc., as they were stumbling around in the dark trying to find their way across the river. Generally with ultramarathon clothes on in the near freezing temperatures in the rain. But in credit to the organisers, everyone was pulled to safety and they were all released from hospital and everyone was fine. So well done to the organisers there, and sorry for those competitors. Ultra racing is not for the faint of heart.
Okay, now for What the Tech. Now, James, I'm excited about this one. What do you think to this then?
I mean, what the indeed.
Yeah, this time trial helmet was debuted. Well, no, hang on, no, you got the wrong image. No, this helmet was debuted
It's not a Star Wars helmet, is it?
Well, maybe. It was debuted by the UnoX Pro Cycling team at the Volta Algarve in the time trial stage, obviously, and has been ridiculed as the wildest and weirdest helmet yet. But I guess in a world of marginal gains, that's kind of there for a reason and what we have learned to expect. Kind of reminds us a lot of that Darth Vader style POC temper helmet.
Yeah, POC did do one that was quite similar to this. Apparently there's some science to this. It's about the airflow channeling around the shoulders and around the head. It's not just blocking the air and making it go around the head, it's actually allowing it to go through and past the head.
Yeah, so it's got like this opening or port on the front, and the idea is obviously that's a high pressure area, the air flowing and hitting there, and it's trying to almost suck the air through that. This is what they say. Suck the air through and like channel it down these ports, but without going over the head, and then it's taking it to a lower pressure area out the back of the helmet. Sounds good, doesn't it?
It does. Well, it's made by Sweet Protection. And that is all the information we have at this point. As we've said, it's only been seen on these people's heads. No one's actually got it in their hands. Yeah, we'll have to wait to see whether this makes it to the triathlon world. I mean, the cyclists tease us quite a lot, Mark, but really.
Well, yeah, we haven't quite adopted the balaclava from Specialized yet. So.
No, that hasn't taken off, has it?
No. Anyway, moving on, we've got an exciting one here because Trimtex have just launched a new brand, and it's called Surpas. Now, Trimtex itself may actually seem like quite a new brand, but they've actually got a huge history within endurance sports and winter sports. They actually were founded way back in 1976 and have supplied national teams and winter sports since the 1990s. But they've really stamped their mark within the triathlon world in the last few years, particularly around the technology they're bringing in. The insane suit that we saw Christian wearing to his gold at the Tokyo Olympics, and also obviously the long distance version of that they've had a fair amount of success in.
A fair amount of success, yeah, on the backs of the Norwegians. Well, it is a Norwegian brand, and these suits are made in Norway. The new Trimtex brand Surpas is designed to be specifically for high-performance triathlon, and it's called Surpas, and they say their key pillars of the brand are speed, agility, and performance, and they're going to keep ahead with innovation and technology ahead of all their competitors, which, of course, everyone says they're going to do, but apparently they're super lightweight with serious aerodynamics and thermoregulatory capabilities, and we'll definitely see it on the backs of the Norwegians at their next races, so watch this space. It'll be interesting to see what they're racing next.
Well, another launch that we've got today actually comes from the brand Deboer with a new wetsuit, the Ford 3.0. Yeah, this has been a much anticipated suit since Christian wore it to, or a similar version to his sub-7 attempt and to his win at the 70.3 World Championships. The suit has been a combination of 2 years of research, development and testing, and some of the major changes or modifications they made are with the X-Skin neoprene technology to reduce hydrodynamic drag. Plus they've redesigned the sleeves of the wetsuit to improve flexibility and free up the shoulders a bit more. Oh, and it's got a high-vis pattern for good measure, all for £1,271. Yeah, can you remember when wetsuits used to cost just a couple of £100?
I think we might be giving our age away here, Mark, but that does seem a bit steep. Yeah, well, we'll see the likes of Jan Frodeno wearing this, and Christian Blumenfeld, of course, Gustav Iden, Paula Findlay, Daniel Beckergaard, Ben Knut, Sarah Perez-Sala, Amelia Watkinson, and most recently, they just signed Ironman World Champion Chelsea Sodaro. So you'll see all of them wearing the new Fjord 3.0.
It's not a bad roster, is it?
No.
And moving on, another bit of exciting tech, although I haven't got any hard tech to show you just yet, but I think this is exciting. Remember that Hope Lotus bike that the British team rode to 7 medals at the Tokyo Olympics? Well, they've announced that they are in the middle of revising that design ahead of the next Olympics. Now, they are obviously naturally being rather coy about the details. They don't want anyone getting their hands on any designs or blueprints or anything.
Top secret.
But I do remember when we were last filming with that bike that the Hope team did say that if there was any way they think they could make some big improvements, it was around the fork. So they did a lot of research on there. If you remember, it's a really wide stance fork. They said that actually, if they really go to the nth degree, it would be to personalise the shape and the width of each of the forks dependent on the rider on the bike.
So it's going to be even wider.
It could be, or it could be narrow. It'd be a pretty big task though, wouldn't it, for every single rider? And you don't even know who those riders are going to be until closer to...
Yeah, to have a customised bike for your race in the Olympics. Wow.
Maybe it's not going to be that at all. So yeah, we just have to wait and see.
Yeah, moving on. Envy have released a gravel bike. Yep, 2 years after they released their first road bike, the custom road frame, and then they released the Melee, which is kind of an everything bike. They have now released a specific gravel version, and it is called the MOG. Now I'm going to read from their website. It says, MOG is a noun, verb, acronym, and unequivocally a state of mind for those who push the boundaries of distance and road exploration. There is no road too long, no course too tough for those willing to MOG. Now, if you look back...
So I've got to go and buy one. That was good. That was...
Well, if you're not immediately sold by the marketing BS, then actually looking at the bike, it looks pretty cool. It's got really wide tire clearance. It's got slacker geometry. It's got those fork mounts for your panniers, etc. It's a lot of gravel-specific features, and it is a really nice looking bike.
They do say that, I mean, gravel these days kind of means something different for everyone, doesn't it? Some people like a lightweight gravel bike that they can race around and do big epics on, but also others like to load those bikes up to do also some big epics on.
Bikepacking.
And so they say with this bike, they've tried to make it as versatile as possible. It can be, it can apply for those speedier days and also for loading up. So they've got all the lugs and everything.
Yeah, they keep trying to make bikes that can do everything. And ironically, they're just more and more bikes in the market. We're going the wrong direction. Anyway, this is available as a chassis only, which retails for $5,500 or £5,300. And that includes the frame, the fork, the headset, the stem, the handlebar, and the seat post. Ironically, from a brand that specializes in making wheels, it doesn't come with wheels. This is actually apparently a supply issue, and they will be selling it as a complete bike as soon as they can supply all the components and wheels for the bike. But at the moment, you can get it just as a chassis.
To be fair to Envy, I can probably imagine what's gone on here. They're probably going, we're so excited to release this bike. You know what? Let's just get it out there and see, get everything.
Yeah, build it yourself. That's what we want to do anyway. So,
they have said also, if you did want to, they'll link you up with specific stores around the country, around the world, to sort out certain group sets to match it up with the bike, and they'll support you in that. So all very good. Final last bit of tech is Pirelli have just released some new time trial specific tyres. These are the P0 Race TT. They claim that they're 5% lighter and have 15% lower rolling resistance, and they're available in 26 and 28 mil width, and they're both clincher options. They're ranging from £68 to £69, so not much in it, depending on the size of them. Finally, we have our winners for the Global Bike Festival. So we are hosting the Global Bike Festival in Saalbach, Austria.
Not Australia.
No, not Australia, as I keep saying somehow. From the 15th to the 18th of June. You can still enter into, express your interest in that. It's open to enter into or sign up to currently, but we have got some prizes. So the first prize was for the full package for 2. Entry to the Global Bike Festival, tickets for the ride pass, half-board accommodation for 3 nights, bikes, flights, etc., all sorted. And the winner for that one is Finja Hillman.
Congratulations, Finja. We also have 5 runners-up who get those Global Bike Festival tickets, and they are Dimitrios Elimonos, Elias Vognekli, Sebastian Fritz, Jamie Kettel, and Andrea Havlena. Congratulations, everybody.
All right, now on to the racing. We've actually had quite a lot of racing this week.
At last, the racing is back.
Get stuck on into this one then. So we had the Super League Arena Games in Montreal. Obviously, the excitement was Lionel Sanders getting stuck into that. Now, the format was, as it has been previously, 200-metre swim, 4-kilometre bike into a 1-kilometre run. First stage is in that normal order. Second stage, they completely reverse it. And then into that final stage, they do it in a pursuit format, swim, bike, run.
Yeah, which means if you've got a time advantage, you carry that at the start of the last one, which meant Chase McQueen went off in the last one with a 7-second advantage of everyone else. He got to dive into the water first. And then the Zwift bike leg on their Zwift bikes. And then the run is on one of those Woodway treadmills, which you have to power yourself, which is, yeah, I mean, pretty hard.
Yeah, and interestingly, so the bike is non-drafting, so I actually played into Lionel's hands. So yes, I know there was a lot of chatter before whether Lionel could make it in this racing through to the final. I've got to say, he did incredibly well. We were very impressed. He made it through to the final.
He did actually, and the way he did that was with a new Arena Games triathlon record on the bike, a 5:06 for those 4Ks, which is, well, it's really pushing hard. He was like over 6 watts per kg for the whole time, which is smashing.
I'd hate to run off that. Imagine your legs
exactly. And they don't have big gaps in between them either. So once you've done that twice, you then got to jump in and do it for the third time. He did hold his own, and he ended the day in 6th overall in the final.
Very impressive.
So yeah, very impressive. Hats off to him jumping into that short course racing. Ahead of him, Chase McQueen took the win overall on the men's side, with Henry Schumann in 2nd and Jack Stanton Stock from the UK in 3rd. So on the men's side.
Yeah, very good going. On the women's side, it was Gina Serino that took the win ahead of Sophie Lynn and Dominika Jamnicki.
Yeah, Gina Sereno actually, Chase McQueen's girlfriend. They're all.
Oh, well, there you go. Very good.
Good day for that household.
Nice one. We also had the Oceania Triathlon Cup in Taupo, and this was quite hotly anticipated because we had none other than Gwen Jorgensen back racing.
Yeah, Rio Olympic gold medalist Gwen Jorgensen is making her comeback with an aim of getting into the Paris 2024 Olympic Games.
It's been 6 years since she last raced a triathlon and has had 2 kids since then.
Yeah, well, she jumped straight in. She said on her Instagram, I might have taken my play over perfection expression a little too seriously in my first race back because I made mistakes. Yet absolutely loved it. So excited to be back at it in the mixed relay. Another opportunity. I didn't actually see how she did in the
I didn't see that. But anyway, she did incredibly well on the swim, actually. She came out with the lead bunch and they made a breakaway group of about 12 in that main sort of lead group. She was actually 11th out of T2, so maybe just needs to
some of those mistakes.
Yeah, blow those cobwebs out a bit on the transitions, etc. But worked her way through into 3rd place. The winner of the day was Nicole van der Kay. 2nd was Ainsley Thorpe. But very impressive to get on the podium in your first race in 6 years, and that will get her some valuable points that she needs to be able to even start to consider trying to be qualified for the Olympics.
Yeah, well done, Gwen. On the men's side, David Ferrado from Spain took the win ahead of Janus Stauffenberg from New Zealand and Luke Willian from Australia in 3rd.
Yeah, and I thought interesting, we saw Carl Smith again doing some short course racing, managed to scrape in with the 4th this time, just ahead of Taylor Reid. So.
He's also on the Olympic Games pathway. He's hoping.
Yeah,
so
quite
anyway.
impressive, isn't he? He's jumping around with his distances there. We also had the Husky Try this weekend. On the women's side, that was won by Ellie Salthouse ahead of Radka Kardefel, and in 3rd we had Penny Slater.
Yeah, on the men's side, Nicholas Free took that Australian long course title, Kurt MacDonald in 2nd and Benjamin Hill in 3rd.
Yeah, and interestingly, we've now got this SOF score that we've mentioned before showing on the side of the results, haven't we?
Yeah, this is the new ranking system for the PTO where they get a strength of field score for each race. And this is the first time we've seen it in action. And actually, when you go onto those results, at the top of the results page, you can see the SOF score for that race. So for the Husky Try, it was 54 for the women and 62 for the men. And actually looking ahead to upcoming races, such as Ironman South Africa, you can see what the predicted SOF score, obviously that depends on starters, but the predicted SOF score, and if you compare that, 75 for the women at Ironman South Africa and 81 for the men at Ironman South Africa. So comparing those, you can see how strong the fields are, which is, well, it makes it quite interesting on looking at what races are coming up.
But we do have one final race as well. We've got the Volcano Triathlon over in Lanzarote. Have you done this one before?
I haven't, no. It's a bit of a traditional one, isn't it, on the
Actually,
on
I
the
haven't
calendar.
done the triathlon. I've done the duathlon, the Lanzarote Volcano International Triathlon, whatever it is. Anyway, we had a very competitive race, particularly on the women's side. It was won by Kate Curran ahead of Sara Perez-Sala and Maya Stage. So very impressive result for Kate Curran there.
Don't know what the strength of field score was for that one. On the men's side, Disa Come took it from Belgium with Nicola Ducci from Italy in second and Pello Gutierrez from Spain in third. And then we spoke about Ironman South Africa coming up this coming weekend with a very strong field there. Laura Phillip taking on Fenella Langridge and some South Africans in that one. And also on the men's side, Leon Chevalier, Clement Mignon, Bradley Weiss, Alistair Brownlee, Matt Troutman, Cam Worth, straight off the back of
Anthony Costas,
yeah,
Andreas Salversberg. I mean, there's a lot of people that can be in the mix there.
Stacked, yeah. So that's a gold tier race with $150,000 and a very strong field. There's also Ironman New Zealand, which is a silver tier race with $100,000, and that has a strength of field for the men of 70 and 64 for the women. So also pretty stacked field there. And short course racing too. Medium course racing. What are we calling WTCS these days? Because of Super League is short course racing.
It's very true.
Anyway, WTCS is back in Abu Dhabi for the first race of the season this weekend, and that's definitely going to be interesting to watch because for a lot of these athletes, this is the first big step towards Paris 2024. Now it's time to take a look at some of the things you guys have sent us, and remember, you can send us your own triathlon-related anything, videos, photos, anything, training updates. Use the uploader on screen down below right now and upload your triathlon-related stuff for next week. This week, we've got this Personal Improvement Center from Greg. I like that. It's not a pain cave, it's a Personal Improvement Center. Yeah, he's got a Sevilla P2 relaxing before an afternoon run in watching the GTN show.
I'm ever so sorry. I looked very glum in that screenshot of us.
I think we just caught you at a bad moment, Mark. You never look glum.
Oh, thanks. Next one in from Fergal, and this is from Brussels. He said, working exclusively from home for 3 years is not easy, but good indoors. He said, normally would watch Zwift when riding, but just thought I should watch Let's Dance for sport relief instead. Thought taking 4 minutes off my own PB for Road to Sky was going to be yesterday's highlight, but finding Heather's Vogue YouTube video beat it by a considerable margin. So yeah, if you missed
Heather's Vogue YouTube video, I haven't seen this
one.
No, I missed this one.
Yeah, so apparently there's a brilliant video on YouTube that everyone can find.
Should we put a link up on screen now?
I think we should try and find it. Yeah. Unfortunately, we can't take the footage because we don't own it, but there is a video widely available on YouTube.
No, we're not saying you should click the link and go and watch it, but if you're looking for something to watch after this.
Yeah, as I say, readily available out there.
We're going to get so much trouble from Heather for this. Anyway,
right, moving on. That never happened.
Yeah, that never happened. You saw nothing. Stanley sent us this of his Cannondale System 6 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He says, I somehow managed to qualify for the USA Triathlon Age Group National Sprint Championship race in Milwaukee in Wisconsin later this year. Living in the triathlon-rich area of Philadelphia, I've never done a race that requires air travel. So I asked my local bike shop, Bicycle Therapy, to show me how to disassemble, pack and reassemble my bike, and they spent an hour showing me how to do everything I need to know. I love supporting my local bike shop. They make racing possible. Indeed, support your local bike shop. I'm not sure why you need it though, because there's very clear pictures on that. There's a graphic in the middle of your bike box, and it literally says how to pack. How hard can it be?
Oh no, no, it's really cool.
Get support from your local bike shop. That's what they're there for, and they're always happy to help. So
yeah, I do love that about a bike shop. Next one from Nick. He's out in Lanzarote. He said, out here for a training camp and first race of the season, the Volcano Triathlon. I hope you got on okay. Doing a course recce with a team ahead of tomorrow's race. Team Charles Barkley has been spotted, so the competition will be tough.
Well, actually,
saw Reese was racing. Actually,
well,
I think he was in fifth.
Lucy pulled out the last minute. She was feeling a little under the weather. Apparently, she was planning to do it, but she put on her Instagram that she was a bit under the weather, so she decided to skip it. But yeah. Looks like Nick had some pretty good weather out there in Lanzarote. That is definitely better than the UK, isn't it?
Well, thanks ever so much for all your photos. Do keep them coming in using the photo uploader. Link on screen right now, or in the description just down below. Finally, we've got the caption competition.
We just had to take a little break quickly to watch Heather doing Vogue for Sport Relief.
Very good, actually.
Yeah,
very
back
good.
to work.
Anyway, yeah, as I say, it is out there on YouTube that you can watch. Anyway, the caption comp image for last week was from Ironman Copenhagen from a number of years ago, I am sorry, of the horse crossing the road. And no, that's not part of a joke. But anyway, Ironman Kiwi said, reining in your carbon footprint doesn't have to result in less horsepower.
Oh, yeah, so we did there. Chris Strada says, draft horse.
Very nice, good work. Savage Pro said, when your GPS goes haywire.
Oh, haywire. Yeah.
A couple from Clement
Yeah.
Siligoj.
Clement Siligoj says, Ironman really makes you get off your high horse. And he also tried, hold your horses. We've only just started the bike.
Comic Book Guy said, introducing the latest must-have tri-bike, the Specialized Thoroughbred.
Oh, good one. And our friend Jabansky takes the win this week with Mark, stop horsing around and get some more recent images for the caption competition.
I'd say it's
Fair.
pretty fair, yeah. There's we haven't had much racing and we've been really scraping the barrel going back through the years.
But the racing's back, so hopefully we have plenty of caption
We do.
competitions from now on.
And I provided and I've delivered for this week with an image from the Arena Games. It's of Michelle Dillon with Lionel Sanders. And I saw her post this one on social media, and at the time I thought, that is a funny image. I wonder what Michelle said to Lionel, what Lionel's thinking.
What is Lionel thinking in this one? Yeah, well, the wrong answers only. Leave them in the caption down below, and you can be winning the caption competition next week. Thanks for watching, everybody. That is going to wrap up the show. If you're looking for something to watch right now, we did a video on why everyone is talking about Zone 2, and it does feel like we've been talking about it a lot lately.
Yeah, a lot about zones, and Zone 2 in particular. Do stay tuned as well, because we're going to be talking about body shapes within triathlon. Does the perfect body shape exist for triathlon? So stay tuned for that. Do make sure you check out the GTN shop for all our merchandise, including our GTN tri-suit if you've missed that one.
Yep. If you did enjoy today's video, hit the like button to support the channel, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of the rest of our videos. Thanks for watching. See you again next week.